Hey everybody, it's Simeon with the Simeon Henderson Show, where we're giving a voice to the people. This is season 4, and we're super excited about the guests that we've been having, and we want to continue to motivate you to simply be your best. But you know how we do. We're going to kick off the Simeon Henderson Show a little something like this.
Ain't no stopping now, it ain't no stopping now. Ain't no stopping now, there ain't no stopping now. Ain't no stopping now, it ain't no stopping now. Ain't no stopping now, it ain't no stopping now. This what you wanted, cause ain't no turning back. This what you wanted, cause ain't no turning back.
All right, everybody, it's that time. We're sitting down with Messiah Equiano, the writer and director of the new hit stage play, When Mars Meets Venus. And we have a couple of the actors, because there's a lot. But we have a couple. We have Thurman and we have Leonard here, and we're going to have some fun today. So, Messiah, before we get into this whole thing, why don't you tell us about this play and what we can look forward to on November 13th?
November 13th, Arie Crown Theater, Chicago, in the world. This is going to be an incredible, life-changing, hilarious, hysterical, jaw-dropping, dramatic, funny experience. Not even just a stage play. Obviously, with the pandemic, we're hopefully coming out of this situation where we haven't been able to go outside, haven't been able to enjoy live and in-person events. So Chicago and the world, come on out. It's funny, hilarious, dramatic. So it's essentially about a woman named Venus. She meets a man named Mars. Obviously, there's a saying in the scripture that says when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. So it gets into the complexities and the nuances of essentially when a man meets a woman. But however, there's some underlying things that we can't give away too much right now, but also those interpersonal relationships that we have with ourselves and our parts. It may not make sense what I'm saying right now, but trust me, when you see the show, it will. So not only just when a man meets a woman, but also their family. The man and woman, they come together, have children. It gets into how his overbearing mother can be overprotective and not consenting to the woman that he grows to love, as well as her overbearing father, who grows to not necessarily approve of the man that she meets. So a lot of different twists and turns, drama, funny. Trust me, definitely an experience and a night to remember, November 13th at Arie Crown Theater. Starring these two gentlemen here, as well as phenomenal performers and actors here in Chicago.
So good. Before we get into it, right, I want you guys to get to know Messiah a little better, because trust me, when we get on the roll about talking about When Mars Meets Venus, sitting here with this guy and this guy and this guy, it's just going to be comedy for the rest of the interview. So before we get to the comedy, I really want people to get to know you a little bit, Messiah, because you've been doing a lot of things. You've been doing Black History plays, you've been doing inspirational plays and things like that. But one of the things that you've recently done is the documentary Nugget, right? So tell us, was it successful in generating peace in Chicago, and why did you do it?
God bless the souls of Sarita White and Starkeisha Reed. Much love to their families and their friends, and always. These are two young ladies, promising young ladies in Chicago, 2006, who were tragically murdered in their own homes. So literally, Starkeisha one morning getting dressed for school, honor roll student at Harper High School, getting dressed for school. A guy outside, he gets into it with another guy over a woman, pulls out an AK-47, shoots, misses obviously the guy, and a stray bullet hits her. Then the very next week, Sarita White, literally at her own birthday party, was tragically hit by a stray bullet when a guy sees some guys that he didn't like on the porch of the home where the birthday party was taking place. He opens fire on those guys, missed them, and one of those stray bullets hit her. But we followed the story for an entire year and a half, because we wanted to show what happens when things like this tragically happen, but when the cameras leave, when the mayor leaves and the politicians stop making speeches about it, what happens to these families and these communities. So, but to answer your question, it was interesting because we followed it for a whole year and a half, and the question was, after all the marches and gun turn-ins and initiatives that were in place, had the violence stopped or had it improved? And absolutely not. I mean, I was even reading today 2 young men were killed in a home invasion, and it's transferred not only from Chicago, but you're hearing about things happening on the north side now, the south suburbs. So obviously we have a lot of work that we have to do.
True. And in that staying in that same vein, you talked about Nugget, but now it's not just that. You're continuing the push. You're not giving up. You're staying focused. Tell us about your non-for-profit Operation Safe Passage.
Yeah. Well, Operation Safe Passage it started in 2009 with a group of us. We just wanted to do something. And a lot of it had to do with, I've been in the arts for a long time, and we wanted to use the arts as a way to not only have people to have a good time, but to give people some medicine with entertainment. People, like we're in the church right now, people can come get a message in the church, people can go get a message watching a TV program. Why not have people get a message when they're watching a film or watching a stage play? And I'm a huge fan of, obviously some of my role models in this game, Spike Lee and John Singleton, and you can hear that wake up, from School Days, loud as that. So even though my mentors and my idols in this game have sprinkled their messages of peace and love within their work, so it's just, I guess, our turn to do our work.
And speaking about mentors and idols and good messages, what was it like for you growing up the son of the prominent pastor T.L. Barrett?
It was cool. He's. I think the biggest thing for me was just showing his and recognizing his love and his dedication to his craft. I have a sister who tragically was murdered. I'm not even just a person that can talk about violence that touches everybody else, but it's even touched my own family. I have my sister, and that's tatted on my chest right here, my sister Cleo. But what I really found to be remarkable about him, in addition to just having the guts to get up there every Sunday in, Wednesday night out, but also just the dedication to it, like the no matter what, whether it's a blizzard going on in Chicago, or it's 100 degrees in Chicago, that man getting up there every Sunday, every Wednesday, and I really looked at that and I try to apply it to my work, that no matter what, at least in my craft, doing my best to come out with a new stage play every single year, no matter what's going on. And I think that has just kind of helped me to just build that mental strength that keeps going no matter what. So.
Everybody, you're watching the Simeon Henderson Show, where we're giving a voice to the people. We're sitting here with writer, director, actor, and I like to call him a philanthropist, and he's even an activist, Messiah Equiano, along with Jay Thurman and David Leonard. We'll be right back after these messages. We got to play a couple of bills, and we're going to find out what makes this man's head shine. We'll be right back.
Did you like it?
I loved it.
Man, I like the whole show. What was your favorite part of the show?
Oh gosh, all of it, everything, all of it.
Excellent.
It was excellent.
It was outstanding. It's going all over the world.
We're back with the Simeon Henderson Show, and we're sitting down with Messiah Equiano and two of the stars of his upcoming stage play that's going to be at the Arie Crown Theater on November 13th, When Mars Meets Venus. Now, let's get into it. We heard a lot about what Messiah's been doing and the difference that he's making in this world and in this city. But now let's talk about these actors in this play and what you can expect on November 13th. You got to get your tickets. I'm sitting here with Jay. Jay, let's start with you.
What's up?
What role do you play in When Mars Meets Venus?
So I play the character of Mars, Marshall Jones is the character's name, and I meet a young lady by the name of Venus Hicks, and like Messiah said, it's about the nuances of our relationship. Men and women, we go into relationships differently. We feel differently. We have different drives, different motivations. Sometimes men are led by different perks, and women are led by different perks. So I think that Messiah did an excellent job of touching on the whole area of a man and woman relationship, and bringing it to the stage in a dramedy, if you will.
It's funny how you said he did a good job on touching the whole. You got to know Jay. We're going to do a show one day. Inside the mind of Jay Thurman.
Hey.
You really don't want to go in there.
Hey,
No,
it's
but
it's a deep place.
But one thing that I found about you, Jay, because I've had the pleasure of working with all you guys, that you've played roles that where you're in relationships and you embody these characters, man. I mean, you like really, really bring these characters to life. And when you're thinking about, or when you're preparing for a role like this, or when you did Penis Monologues and any other thing where you had to deal with relationships, where do you pull from? Do you look at real life situations you've been through, situations other people have been through? Where do you pull from?
Yeah, most of the time, or as actors, we use our substitutions and different techniques. But yeah, a lot of times it has to be relatable to the audience. So yeah, there's a little bit of Jay, I believe, in every character that I possess, if you will.
Right.
Whether it's Mars, or maybe it may be, I don't know, if I play an old man or if I play a stepper. I mean, it's got to have some type of connection so that the audience can feel it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Once I'm able to take the audience on this trip down this road of Mars, as I'm gonna do November 13th at the Arie Theater. Get your tickets. And, but I mean, once you get the audience and they're consumed in what you're doing, you can't let them down. And I've always had this kind of mantra that regardless where it is, if it's on a stage, if it's in the backyard, if it's in the kitchen, you gotta commit. Commit to the commit to the characters. So
And he's not lying. We've worked with Messiah and we've done plays in the backyard. You know what I was thinking about, Messiah? Remember when we did Penis Monologues at the Velvet Lounge?
Yeah.
We were in there recently because it's the Sage Room now.
Right.
I was like, how did we do that play in there?
In this space,
we did a
right.
play in this space, and it was packed.
And did 2 shows.
It did
a night.
2 shows a night,
Right.
and it was packed. But that's when you talk about that commitment to the craft and being ready and willing to perform no matter where you're at. Like, that's one of the cool things. And I'm gonna tell you, I gotta tell y'all this. Everybody watching this, you know me, you know I'm humble, but I'm jealous. I'm jealous because I've always wanted to do a play at the Arie Crown, and I haven't done it yet. No, but here's the thing.
never did the Arie Crown?
No, I've toured with Tyler Perry out of the state, but I've never. When they came to Chicago, I had to leave the tour because of my mom had passed. But I'm so excited, man. I told Messiah, I said, just let me introduce y'all or something. I just want to walk on the stage with y'all. But people, I've been watching this man grow. Like, we've been friends for at least 15 years now. And watching these guys grow has been a tremendous pleasure and experience to befriend you guys.
You too, bro.
And
You too.
and Dave. Let's go to Dave in the back. Dave is what I call the silent killer, right?
Yeah.
This
True
dude.
story.
Absolutely.
You see this guy and you think he's super quiet until you get to hang out with him. Like, this dude's a party animal, right? I'm like, okay. So Dave Leonard, David A. Leonard,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
What is it like for you, man? Because you've done this, you guys have done the play already. You did it before the pandemic, and now it's grown.
Yes.
What is it like for you, and what role are you playing in When Mars Meets Venus?
Oh man, this has been a ride, man. It's a lot of fun, and I've grown to gain new friends and like a new family. First of all, everybody in the group inspires me, and being able to play with these guys and these different characters, and have everybody come together and just present what we present on stage. Everybody that's November 13th, Arie Theater, you're gonna be in for a treat. I play the character of Sir, and I have a twin sister named Madam. So if you're familiar with Sir and Madam, popular clothing line in Chicago, the play kind of takes over a period of about 2 decades.
Right.
And so you literally get to see my character, who plays the the son of Mars, from the very beginning, literally, without going into too much detail. You can use your imagination for that. But you get to see me from the beginning up, to an adult, and watch that journey with my twin sister, and what we go through. And what I like about this project is, like Jay said, it's like a dramedy, but there's so many funny moments in it, but there's a lot of different subjects that somebody can relate to.
Messages.
I think I mentioned this in another interview one time that when we were doing a play last time, there's one topic that takes place in the play that I was actually going through at the time that we were actually doing the play on stage. So it was like I could relate to that. Watching it, you know what I'm saying? Even though it didn't have to do with my particular character, I was sitting there watching it almost as an audience member myself, like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm dealing with this right now. Right. So I feel like people who come to see this play, it's gonna be the same thing. There's gonna be something literally for everybody that people can relate to, and again, just this brother's vision. That he's taken from his mind to the paper to the stage has just been a huge inspiration. Yes.
So I'm trying to figure something out, Messiah and Dave and Jay. So Dave said he plays your son. Evidently, he looked like his mom. Hey, look, his mama's tall and light. No, but I think the cool thing is when you guys see this play, when you see this production, I should say, when you see the production, watching the characters, man, like watching Dave as a grown man play a boy. Boy, I almost fell out when I saw you do that. Because honestly, I don't even know if I could do that. Like, I mean, the way you did it. Mm-hmm. So it's like everybody that Messiah has put in the place, it was well cast, so everybody brings that character life. I have to say this about one character. Mona Lisa. Let me tell you something. We toured with a play, Penis Monologues. I almost wore a shirt. I still got my shirt. Mm-hmm. And this lady, I almost said it's good. It's hilarious. Yeah. So when I tell you the camaraderie between the actors and the feel that you guys are gonna get is so real, and I'm talking about Mona Lisa, how they say, a whole fool, not a half, a whole fool. And it's one of those things where what you put together, brother, I think they're gonna appreciate it. It's well needed right now, and people just really need to laugh. But not only that, you're a homeboy. You from Chicago. We go to all these plays at the Arie Crown where it's Tyler Perry and people come and bringing their plays in. You're from Chicago, and then your play is cast with people in Chicago. So I think that's what's gonna make it so special for me.
Yeah, it means the world to me, man. I mean, coming up, I didn't know I wanted to be a playwright or a filmmaker. I thought I was gonna be the guy that worked for the Sun-Times and went to high school basketball. Right. And probably at some point in my life, I will still do that, whether it be for the Sun-Times or freelancing. But it almost feel like we play for the Bulls or the Bears or something. I mean, to be able to come, be home and do a performance to this magnitude at. I mean, the lady said it's a 90 foot wide, 40 foot high stage, and one of the largest stages in North America. And in the third biggest market in the nation. And honestly, I mean, you talk about these gentlemen, but I mean, I don't even know if either one of me or Simeon can give these gentlemen and the rest of our cast enough words to describe their greatness. I feel. I mean, I'll put this squad up, and even including you, like anybody I've ever worked with, I'll put that squad up against anybody, any cast, anywhere. I mean, it almost likens, and I keep thinking about like Boys in the Hood. Before you knew about Morris Chestnut and Nia Long and Cuba Gooding Jr. and Fishburne and Angela Bassett. I mean, for a lot of them, this was their first major film. Even John Singleton, it was his first film. 21 years old, coming out of USC. I liken these actors to them. I mean, to me, they're superstars. And it's funny, like when I give people flyers all over the Chicago, oh yeah, I know Jay, or I know Dave, or I know Mel, or I know Queen Khadijah. I know Tally. I'm gonna really literally name everybody because I don't want anybody to feel like I know Judge. I know everybody. Mona, like you mentioned. Like I know everybody in the production because they're superstars in their own right. Lady Lunchabelle, shout out to her. Everybody that's a part of this production. So I'm just honored to just even be a part myself.
Man, thank you so much. Before we get out of here, I just want to say, and what he's saying is facts, because this is the same thing he's been saying since I've known him. And one thing about Messiah, he'll tell you in a minute, if I rock with you, I rock with you. You know, we could do 5 to 10 to 20 plays or productions, you know, separate from each other. But then there's going to be that time when we come back together and we going to knock it out the park. And he believes in his people. And speaking of that, I just want to touch briefly, just because I wanted people to really see that you're way more than a playwright and an actor, but some of the great things you're doing. You have you've trademarked the campaign phrase "Shy Rise," and you've been doing things in the Chicago public school system. And then the last thing I want you to touch on in that is Dreams Deferred, because that was huge, and the message. So just tell them real quick what Shy Rise is about and what made you go into the school system and work on Dreams Deferred.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm just hopefully a good citizen of the universe, my brother. You know, just somebody that while I'm in this body in this lifetime that can hopefully make this world a better place. Like we talked about Lil Simbo, and you know, I know your boys, and you know, just even my own son.
We watched each other kids
grow.
Literally.
You know what I mean? And hopefully, like even with like my son, you know, he's gonna be, our sons are gonna be working backstage at the play. So I mean, it means something for me to not only have my own children, but even shorties in the community. Like even I'll walk down the street on 55th, they be like, "Hey, Emotep, I remember you from that play."
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
I feel good knowing that. I'm not saying I'm perfect by no means, but I do feel good that knowing that shorties can run up to me in the hood and say, "Oh man, I remember you from an enjoyable experience I had." And this is not judging anybody as opposed to, "Oh, you that dude that did whatever to my people," or "You that guy that sold my mama this and now she wasn't there in my life," or whatever it might be. I'm just hopefully a good contributor, you know, to this place that we call Earth and home. And just in this lifetime, it just so happens to be. I mean, maybe it's because I came from a situation where I didn't have brothers and sisters in the household, and I just kind of started writing, and maybe, you know, even with my dad and my mom, just it just evolved into this. But I mean, I'm no better than anybody else. Hopefully, no worse. I'm just, you know, hopefully doing my part. Shy Rise. I got tired of hearing about the violence in Chicago, because I'm like, I mean, I know with this gentleman here and this gentleman here, like 6 brothers, great guys. We may not make the news tonight, but let's say if something pop off down the block, they will literally skip over us and go report on that situation. But this is Shy Rise. This is the great things that are happening in our own city that may not necessarily get the fanfare or the media, but hopefully with things like this, we're changing the whole narrative, because we create the narrative, we create the story, and hopefully that's what Shy Rise is all about.
And that right there is why I refuse to give up. That's why I motivate people every day. I motivate myself, and because I tell people all the time, and I know you guys feel the same way. And Dave and I, we laugh, we talk, because Dave works locations for Center Space, so he's all around, but it's in my neighborhood, so we get to kick it a lot. And but we always say that we're going to continue to help each other grow, and we're going to help each other get to the next level. And I don't care if it's one person watching the Simeon Henderson Show or 1 million watching the Simeon Henderson Show. I'll never stop, I'll never give up, and I will continue to put out a good message and give a voice to the people, because people need to see what we're doing. If it's some buffoonery, you're going to get 1 million views. Some nonsense. But when someone's trying to do something positive and get it out there, you know, it's not looked at the same way. You know, so I'm thankful for you brothers. I'm thankful for my producer Jamani and Jose and Sheldon and even my cousin Jay and my family. I'm thankful, man, for you guys, because people need to see this. So I'm telling you guys right now, November 13th, we need your support. We need you to get your tickets. We're going to put it on the screen. You get your tickets for Mars vs. Venus. When Mars meets Venus, I have to say this, it's starring Messiah Equiano, Jay Thurman, David A. Leonard, Leon Rogers, Miss Lunchabelle, Mona Lisa Brown, Mel Robeson, L.A. Holtz, and Tally Ray, and the judge, John, how you say his last name?
Like.
John Like, and it's going to be November 13th. A super, and don't let me forget, Queen Khadijah. Queen Khadijah, my girl. Let me tell you a story about Queen Khadijah. I met Queen Khadijah years ago. We were working on a project together, and one of the most humblest sisters I've ever met in my life. Super cool.
Super talented.
Super talented. I ain't finished. Super cool, super talented, super pretty. And you know, you would think sometime when you see, you like, oh, she stuck up. Man, that girl, she like one of brothers. She'll pull out a cigar and kick it with you. So yes, we cannot forget Queen Khadijah. And the last thing I want to ask is this. Does anybody think, so when I was young, my first leather jacket. My first leather jacket.
Thought you gonna get away there.
I got my first leather jacket during the winter. And you know uncles, but especially black uncles, I want to say S-H-I-T, but I won't say it, but I just did. But so my uncle Bebe and my uncle Joe, they was like, Simeon, come here. They put Vaseline on it wasn't a real leather jacket, on my leather jacket. They put Vaseline on my jacket, and I went outside and it cracked. So, but I say that to say I'm happy to see that Jay is wearing a real leather jacket. But hey, I want to say thank you guys so much for coming out to the show and just blessing us not only with your talent but with your encouragement, because people can look at you and they can see that hard work and perseverance pays off, and never giving up on your dreams, your goals, and your aspirations. It's all about going for it. There's only one person that can stop you, and that's you. So, Messiah Equiano, Jay Thurman, David A. Leonard, we're looking forward to seeing you guys November 13th at the Arie Crown Theater when Mars meets Venus. Thank you guys so much.
Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.
Yes.
And we'll put the link up, so make sure you get your ticket. So I gotta ask this question, because you know black people gonna ask this. Do you get a discount if you say we saw you on the Simeon Henderson show?
Sure, tell Ticketmaster that. See what they say.
Try
Work out for
it.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Before we get out of here, we got the 5 things you need to know right here on the Simeon Henderson Show by the Chicago Fly Guy. Check him out. He's hilarious. Let's see what he got to say today.
It's America's favorite personality, your Chicago Fly Guy. And I'm right here once again. It's season 4 on the Simeon Henderson Show, bringing you the top 5 things that you need to know. Number 5, when wearing your mask in the pandemic, remember to put your mask over your nose and your mouth. Do not wear your mask as a chin garment. Your mask doesn't go down here. It goes up here. Number 4, when you arrive to the grocery store, if you realize that you have to sneeze, do that out in the parking lot, because there is a new city ordinance, no releasing of bodily fluids or particles in fresh fruits, vegetables, and produce. Number 3, when applying your hand sanitizer, make it sudsy. Get a suds, that's bubbles, then apply it. Purify your hands so that you can have hands as clean as the Board of Health and as smooth as silk. Number 2, when you're in line at the grocery store and you're standing behind the person in front of you, remember to measure your distance by imagining that you're 1 car length behind them. Stay 1 car length behind the person in front of you when in checkout at the grocery store. Number 1, the number 1 thing that you need to know is get vaxxed. Remember, safety first. We have to protect our elders. We have to protect our children. Those are our most vulnerable. I'm the Chicago Fly Guy, and these have been the top 5 things that you need to know right here on the Simeon Henderson Show.